All right, well, welcome. My name is Gabe Strom, and we get asked all the time here in the channel, how do you start selling on Amazon? How do you sell on Amazon if you're a beginner? So I am joined by multiple six-figure seller, Zach Young, and we broke this into a three-step simple process for getting started selling on Amazon FBA. And we have a full fast start guide actually included as part of our top secret group. I'm not going to mention too much about that in this video. If you want to learn about that, you can click the link below to find access to that whole fast start guide. But the three simple steps, if you're brand new selling on Amazon, first thing you got to do, you got to get an account set up. And Amazon gives you two different ways to do that. You can just do a Google search for Amazon Seller Central. You can either set up a basic account, which Amazon will charge you 99 cents per item that you sell, every item that you sell, or you can set up a pro account, which if you're serious, we recommend you do. I believe it's $39.95, just about 40 bucks to set up a pro account, and they give you, you can sell as many products as you want through that subscription. You also get access to their Amazon Seller app and some other really cool features that come with it. So first step, you got to get an account set up. If you're starting on a budget, just get set up with a basic account. But step two, we need some supplies. So I'm joined by my partner, multiple six-figure seller, Zach Young. Zach, you've built and scaled an Amazon business way past the startup phase into maturity. But when you first get started, what are the supplies you need to get started?
Yeah, well, actually, there's not a whole lot to it, but it's very important because obviously to sell the stuff, you got to either ship it to the customers, or the way we like to do it is FBA style. Amazon FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon, where we ship it to Amazon, and then once it sells, they pick it, prep it, ship it, handle support, all that stuff. So that's what we're doing to get set up. So you're going to need tape, okay, some like packing tape. You're going to need scissors, paper, like printing paper, ink in a printer, and then a scale, like a weighing scale to weigh boxes on. Now, if you're like me, like I was broke when I first got started, right? So I didn't have money to invest into a weighing scale. So I used my bathroom scale, Gabe. It's a little bit, little ghetto, I guess. I don't know, but you do what you got to do depending with where you're at, you know? So hopefully that gives hope to someone out there. If you're living check to paycheck, if you were way beyond broke like I was when I got started, you know, I'd stand on the bathroom scale. It'd say 160 when I had something in my hands, like a 10-pound box, and then I set it down and I get off and I weigh 150, and I'd be like, this thing's 10 pounds, you know? So that's kind of how I did it. So if you're in that place, it's okay. You know, you can start there, but really that's the basics, Gabe. Just, yeah, tape and then boxes. You know, if you need to go dumpster diving for boxes, we've had people in our, you know, Gay Lisby, she's done an interview with you. She's making multiple six figures now on Amazon, but in order for them, when they first got started, her and her business partner, they dug through dumpsters and stuff. Some people go to like grocery stores to get boxes. If you have a little bit more capital and you don't want to go dumpster diving or to grocery stores, you can just order some boxes through Amazon or online or a company like Uline. So that's pretty much the main things you need to get started as far as supplies are concerned, Gabe.
All right. Well, this has become the ghetto fix video. Let's start business. No, it's funny. It's true though. If you're balling. So okay. So you got your account set up. You got your basic supplies. This is just to get your first shipment sent in. Now the fun stuff, Zach, and you know, how do you source inventory? Everybody wants to know, how do you source product? You do all kinds of stuff. When you're first starting, if you just got you know, kind of a starter budget, what are some good tips for where you can source your first set of inventory getting started?
Yeah, this is the perfect place, Gabe. And you say, depending on the budget, like, you know, I really think, and I believe you do too, that whether you have a lot of money or no, like hardly any money at all, I think this is the best place to start for both people. And here's why: because you want to learn how to use the Amazon platform, how to create shipments, how to add inventory, how to source product, how to analyze if it's good or not, if it's going to sell and make you profit once it hits Amazon and sells. So like you want to learn all those things, whether you have a lot of money or a little bit of money, right? Because, you know, just because you have a lot of money, that doesn't mean you throw a ton at it in the beginning if you don't know what you're doing, because you'll just lose your money. And we don't want you to do that. So I recommend the first to start, Gabe, and actually what I started in was books. Just, you know, almost everybody I see behind you, you got a nice shelf of books there.
That's part of the collection. That's just the public stuff. I got stuff over there. Love books.
Exactly. So So I would start with books that I didn't need anymore, didn't want anymore. Very simple to get listed, to find on Amazon, to research them. You know, I'd see a book selling for 20 bucks and it doesn't cost me anything. I'm going to send it in and, you know, see what it does. And so I did that with some, you know, boxes of books, just got them listed on Amazon, got them sent in. You know, any other used stuff from around the house, like old gaming systems, video games. Just make sure you mark that stuff as used though, and make sure you put a very accurate condition, because you don't want to, starting out, your feedback is important at any time, and you want to give the customers the best experience possible. But especially starting out, like if you sell like 5 items and you get 1 negative feedback because you had a bad condition note or you weren't accurate in the description of what you were selling, that can hurt you from the get-go. So just make sure to put accurate condition notes, you know, in your listings when you get started. But that's the first place I would start, Gabe, just around the house. So anything you can find that is already listed on Amazon. So that means if you get a book, I have a book over here called 100 to 1 in the Stock Market by Thomas Phelps. So I would go to Amazon, I'd type in the ISBN, and you know, that's the identification number, or just even type in the title and just make sure it's the same exact book or the same item if you're not doing a book that is shown on Amazon, that it matches the description. If you identify it's the correct item, just see, you know, what it's selling for. You know, Gabe, we probably won't even get into rank and stuff today. I don't know if you want to go into thoroughly analyzing, you know. I think when it's free, like me, I didn't know. When I was brand new, Gabe, I didn't know anything about Camel, Keepa.com, sales rank, sales volume. I didn't know any of that stuff, right? And if you're starting with stuff from around the house, it's normally free. So I mean, it's really low risk. So if you send in 10 things and only 5 of them sell, yeah, so what? Yeah, you know, you learned a few things, and you can kind of learn as you go. So really basics for people just getting started. Gabe, I honestly, I wouldn't even mess with digging through the analyzation and bogging people down with that if they're getting stuff from around the house.
We could do a whole separate video about analyzing. I think it's important. So you mentioned some good tips, books. You can scan those if you've got the pro seller account, or just type them in. Looking around the house, new stuff. You got any old gifts? I don't want to share that left over in the package, or you know, make sure you mark them as used. Where else can someone go to start sourcing? You know, you had one other tip for sourcing stuff. Is there other areas they can go to start looking?
Yeah. If I was going to go to like flea markets, you know, like Goodwill outlets, you could go to the library. So libraries have library sale times. You can get for ridiculously cheap at the library or some bookstores. The reason I'm saying books, that they're really simple, Gabe. I mean, you put in ISBN, you know, that's the exact item. You send it in. They aren't that hard to box up and send in. And Amazon still sells tons and tons and tons of books. Lot of sales volume on books. Yeah, that's where I would start. And then one other spot, and this is, again, whether you have limited budget or a lot of money, we're just learning how to use the platform and learning what works and what doesn't. And really, you're just taking action and getting stuff in. And then as stuff gets sent in and you begin to learn what works and what doesn't, then you start looking at the Keepas and the Camels and the profit margins and how to analyze thoroughly and like that after you get that experience. So, you know, I recommend going down like the Walmart aisles, right? Maybe going through the clearance aisles, spending $2, $3, $4 on some clearance items. Now I would scan those with your Amazon seller app. If people have that installed. If you don't, you can use an app called Profit Bandit. I think you can get like 10 free scans per month or something, or per day or something. You have to pay $15 a month, I believe, after the first scan. But there's little apps you can get on your phone. Just scan it, see what it's selling for on Amazon. So like if you can get it for $4, good rule of thumb, Gabe, I always try to stay above $15 to $20 sell price, because there's so many fees that come out, you know, after Amazon takes their commissions, the FBA fees, all that stuff. So, but if I was finding an item for like $5, I'd want to sell it for $15 to $20. So I'd want to make sure it's at least selling for that much. And if it's selling for more, great. And it's really easy to find. Like Gabe, I took our members in our group earlier. I had a live webinar today, and I showed them a site that I go to find products and deals. And like we were finding deals like a gift of popcorn bucket, you know, from I think it was from Macy's. There was some sort of popcorn bucket, You could get it from Macy's for $15. There were people selling it on Amazon, Gabe, just one seller that had found it, I think for 40 or 45 bucks for a Christmas, like little tub of popcorn.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're buying for 15, selling for 40 or 45. I mean, that's a pretty good deal. So there's deals like that, you know, all over the place. So that's where I would start, man.
Okay. Well, good. Well, let's just simplify that then. So start with books, look around your house. If you want to go out and do some sourcing outside of the house for items, you mentioned clearance aisle of Walmart is just a great place. There's tons of stuff. Clearance aisle of really any of your local stores. And you mentioned the Profit Bandit app. I just use the Amazon Seller app that comes with your pro accounts. It's a black app, looks like this. I don't know if you guys can see that Amazon Seller app. Right now it's black, might change in the future.
Yeah, it's the white label. Yeah, and then of course, if you're merchant fulfilled, you know, you could even look on Amazon. I mean, if just depending on where you're at, if you have some budget, we recommend going with the pro seller, getting the app. It'll make it much better. If you don't want to start with any money at all, then just take your smartphone and sign on Amazon.com on the web browser, and then try to find it on your own by typing it in or whatever. The cool thing about if you have the pro seller account, that Amazon app, you can just scan it with the camera on your phone. Like you can scan the UPC and it automatically pulls it up. It's a lot easier to find that way. But again, for anyone at any stage, you don't want to be spending the money, then just type it in and see what it's selling for that way. Yep. On your Amazon web browser, on the web browser.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, there's 3 tips. You also mentioned library sales. That's a big tip you've given. I know we have a lot of members in the group that only do books and do well. You can look up your local library sale. Just go to Google and type in, you know, library sales. You can find out what their calendar is, and you can get great deals on books that way too. If you guys are looking for, we've got a full detailed tutorial. It's actually a 12-step fast start guide that will show you over-the-shoulder tutorials on how to import your inventory, how to upload it, and basically how to take everything we've shared from here and go through the finish line with getting your first shipment sent in. And that's all included as part of our top secret group. If you want to learn more about that, click the link below. We'd love to have you join us. If not, I hope you found some great value in just this simple startup process. Get your account set up like we talked about. The supplies, get your basic supplies together for your first shipment. And then step 3 is source some deals. Look around the house for some stuff getting started. And I think the key part, Zach, you know, echo this, when you're first getting started, the whole point is just to get some inventory sent in and get familiar with the process. You know, really your first, like 30 days, probably plus 30 to 60 days, just get familiar, get several shipments out, see what sells, learn how the fees work. And we would recommend doing that on a smaller budget so you can learn. And if you do make mistakes, you can make mistakes on books and things like that rather than getting into some of the bulk. That's probably one of the...
I have one of my Amazon helpers coming in here, buddy.
Dad, he's here. He's here.
No.
He's here.
This is the
That's
one.
one that's here.
Hey, man, the joys of working from home for you.
Daddy,
All right. Well, Zach, we can wrap this up. Guys, hopefully you got some good tips today. That's the why. It's why we work at home. Both Zach and I do for that very reason.
Gabe, yeah, you were hitting on a big point. And that's what, for people who want to work from home like this and have your kids run into your office, that's huge, Gabe. I had so many fears when I was first getting started. You know, just what if it doesn't sell? What do I sell? What if it does sell? How am I going to ship it? All these things, you know, and sometimes people get so caught up even in the details of how do I get an account set up? You know, what about the tax stuff? What about my checking my business account? All these things that, you know, just get started, you know, take action where you're at and just keep moving forward. And the cool thing is, Gabe, is once you get those set up in the front, there's a learning curve. It can be a little difficult for some people at first, but like once it's done, it's done. You know, once your account's set up, it's set up. Once you have your, you know, your banking account set up, so Amazon deposit money into it, that's done. So just get those things done, work through it, even if it's difficult, and then just start taking action, like we just said, and then you can just learn as you go. Gabe, I love the analogy of, you know, just the rocket ship. You know, if a rocket ship launches and it's off course, you know, you can change the coordinates and you can guide it to where it needs to go. So it's the same with your business. When your business takes off, if you're off a little here, off a little there, you can learn to go, adjust, adapt here, but you're still going towards your goal. If you're in the rocket ship and it never lasts off, that you can't shift it or you can't adjust it. You know, it's just there, nothing's happening. So you don't want that to happen in your business. So just take action with where you're at. We want to encourage you to do that. And then you can have your kids running into your office when you're doing a video, sharing with people how to do stuff on Amazon.
Love it, man. Well, I know you've got a hard stop. You've got to run somewhere with your kids. So thanks for jumping on. Guys, click the link below if you want to check out the group. We'd love to have you be a part of that. And leave some comments below. We take your questions about Amazon. We'd love to know what your biggest challenge or frustration is with getting started selling on Amazon. And you never know, we might just take your question and make a video about it in the future. So have an awesome day, guys. We'll see you on a video real soon.
Thanks.